So we started the chapter with and spiritually and subject matter from this chapter. There is only one particular topic is left, which I'm going to talk about today. So let's move into it. These are some of the topics that we have already covered relating to the Parliament's power, what Article 1, 2, 3, and 4 talks about. So today we are going to talk about the evolution of state and union territories. As we all know, before the independence, we were under the British government, and after that we got independence. Our states got divided. We got two separate countries, it is Pakistan and India, and how after that the state has started gaining a name of their own, a place of their own. So in today's video, we're going to understand the evolution of the state and what are the dealings that have done with in that particular era. Integration of princely state. At the time of independence, India comprised two categories of political units, namely the British provinces under the direct rule of British government and the princely state under the rule of native princes but subject to the paramountcy of the British crown. So there were two types of kind of company that were governing us. One from directly from the British Parliament and who is under the British Parliament. So these are the two type of classification that we were under, and the Indian Independence Act 1947 created two independent and separate dominions of India and Pakistan and gave three options to the princely state. For example, joining India, joining Pakistan, or remaining independent. So after this independence, we got two particular areas, that is namely Pakistan and India. And these are the kind of people who were under the British government. They were given options whether you want to enter into our domain or you want to go and opt for Pakistan. On the 552, so these were 552 princely state we had at that time. Princely state situated within the geographical boundaries of India. 549 joined India, and the remaining three, Hyderabad, Junagadh, and Kashmir, refused to join India. So among these, most of them were ready to join India, but three, namely Hyderabad, Junagadh, and Kashmir, they refused to join India. However, in course of time, they were also integrated with India. Hyderabad by means of police action, Junagadh by means of referendum, and Kashmir by the instrument of taxation. So at first, these three states or these three princely states were not kind of agreeing to enter into the domain of India. But after some time, due to accession, due to referendum, due to political police action, they were also entered into the area of India. Hyderabad in 1950, the constitution contained a four-fold classification of the states and territories of the Indian Union. That is Part A, Part B, Part C, Part C state, and Part 4, Part D territory. So this is all about how we got our independence and how India and Pakistan got divided, and after that, what are the status of the princely state. So after that, two-fold classification has been made. That is A, B, C, and D. These are the classification. In all, they number 29 and the total number is 29. Part A states comprise 9 erstwhile governors provinces of British India. Here we have 9, that is provinces under British India. Part B state consisted of 9 erstwhile princely state with legislatures. So in B we had princely state. Part C state consisted of erstwhile chief commissioner provinces of British India and some of the actual princely state. These Part C states in all 10 in number were centrally administered. So all the kind of state that is been mentioned here were administered by the central government. And in D we have the Andaman and Nicobar Island were kept as the solitary part, the territory. Then we have Andaman and Nicobar Island as a solitary part under declassification. Then we have the Dhar Commission and ZPP Committee. So these are kind of a classification that has been made at that time. The integration of princely state with the rest of the India is purely ad hoc agreement. So on basis of the ad hoc agreement, the princely states were incorporated in the premises of India. There has been a demand from different regions, particularly South India, for reorganization of state on linguistic basis. So these are the classification that has been already made, but there are some people who were not quite happy with the classification of the states, and they were asking for reorganization of state on based of linguistic basis. For example, the Marathi people wants a state of their own, the Telugu people wants a state of their own. So they want their people to stay unite in a particular group rather than being here and there under this fourfold classification. The reorganization of states on linguistic basis. Accordingly, in June 1948, the Government of India appointed the Linguistic Provinces Commission under the chairmanship of S.K. Thar to examine the feasibility of this. That's why it is known as Thar Commission, because the chairmanship was S.K. Dhar. So lots of agitation were ongoing. People were not happy with the classification made by the government, and they were asking for if the states can be reorganized on basis of linguistic basis. So for that, to inquire that, a commission has been made, and which chairman is S.K. Dhar, and they were there to check the feasibility or can it be done to divide the state on linguistic basis. Next, Kamtuna Commission submitted its report in December 1948 and recommended the organization of states on the basis of administrative convenience rather than linguistic factors. So they have done all the research and said that the organization of states can be done but on basis of the administrative convenience but not on linguistic basis. So these are the kind of result that has been given to the government by the Third Commission. This created much resentment and led to the appointment of another linguistic provinces committed by the Congress in December 1948 itself to examine the whole question afresh. So the kind of report that has been given by the Third Commission was not enough to make the people of India happy. They want a particular state on basis of linguistic basis. So for that reason, if the Third Commission has failed, another commission has to be appointed to check whether it can be done on that linguistic basis. It consisted of Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, Pattabhi Sitramagya, and hence was popularly known as JVP Committee. So the reason why the committee is known as JVP Committee because of the very popular person that they have into the committee. That is Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and Pattabhi Sitramagya. It submitted its report in April 1949 and formally rejected language as the basis for reorganization of state. Again, just like the earlier commission, this commission also denied the fact that the state should not be reorganized on basis of language. And these are the four first classification that I have just brought in a horrible drawing. So these are kind of a table that you can write it down. So this is how it was reorganized the independence. Then we have now this original parts of the constitution dealing with states and territories. However, in October 1953, the government of India was forced to create the first linguistic state. So it can come as MCQ. It is what was the first state which made on linguistic basis, known as Andhra state. So Andhra Pradesh was the first one to be separated on the factor of language, on the factor of linguistic basis. This followed a prolonged popular agitation at date of Puthushrimallu, a congressperson of standing after a 56-day hunger strike for the coal. So Andhra Pradesh has got what it were looking for, and after that, the other state, the other people also started protesting more that if you can give Andhra Pradesh their own identity, we also want the same for us, and for that we can go to any extent to snatch that from the government. So that agitation in people started growing more and more. Then we have Fazil Ali Commission. The creation of Andhra Pradesh intensified the demand from other regions for creation of states on linguistic basis. This pushed the government of India to appoint in December 1993 a three-member state reorganization commission under the chairmanship of Fazil Ali to examine the whole question. So it is again a commission was set up to reorganize that it can the status can be given to other states also. It is led by Fazil Ali, that's why it is known as Fazil Ali Commission. Its other two members were K.M. Panikkar and S.N. Kunjuru in submitted report in September 1955 and broadly accepted language as the basis of reorganization of states, but it rejected the theory of one language, one state. Its view was that the unity of India should be regarded as the primary consideration in any redrawing of the country's political units. It identified the major factors that can be taken into account on any scheme of reorganization of states. So this commission said that okay, the states can be reorganized on basis of linguistics, but the India should not be divided on that particular factor only. It should be united with all its states. So these are the points that have been given: preservation and strengthening of the unity and security of country, linguistic and cultural homogeneity, financial, economic, and administrative consideration, planning and promotion of the welfare of the people in states as well as of the Union nation as a whole. So these are the kind of points given by the Federal Commission. Then we have in 1956 the states, that is Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Bombay, and these are the Union territories. So these are the changes that have been seen in of reorganization of states. The Commission suggested the abolition of the fourfold classification of states and territories in the original constitution, creation of 16 states and 3 centrally administered territories. The fourfold classification that we have, this Commission has suggested that we should um, lessen it, and we should merge some of the states together, and we should change the union territory, and we should do changes with the threefold classification that we have already made. The Government of India accepted this recommendation with certain minor modification by the State Reorganization Act 1956, the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956, and distinction between Part A and B. It was done away with Part C and State was able. So basically, this particular paragraph talks about the fourfold classification that we have. It was too confusing. People were not happy with kind of division that the government has made, and this commission has suggested that we should lessen the fourfold classification and we should merge some of the states together. We should do some changes with the union territories as well, and the government was okay with the kind of suggestion that the commission has suggested, and with little bit of modification did the changes into their fourfold classification, and they have merged it. Then we have new states and union territories created after 1956. So Andhra Pradesh is the one that is got their identity on linguistic basis, and after that the other people were also started asking for their own. So these are the kind of individual state that got their individuality after the Andhra Pradesh. Then we have Maharashtra and Gujarat. Earlier they were together, but the Maharashtra people wanted to get united with their own people rather than the people who were speaking Gujarati. So this is the reason this Maharashtra and Gujarat were made. Then we have Dadra and Nagar Haveli, that we have Goa, Daman and Diu, we have Pondicherry, and we have Nagaland. Earlier Nagaland also a part of Assam. Then we got Nagaland separately. Then we have Haryana, Chandigarh, and Himachal Pradesh. Then Meghalaya, we have Sikkim. So these are kind of all the states that got their individuality after Andhra Pradesh. We have Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, and Goa. Then we have Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand. We have Telangana. In 2024, the new state of Telangana came into existence as the 29th state of the Union. So Telangana has become the 29th state of Union and it came into existence in 2014. Then we have Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Earlier, under Article 370, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh were treated differently. But after the abolition of Article 370, these were also falls under the um, Indian Constitution. Therefore, all the rule is applicable to the Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh, and they were kind of separate state. Then we have changes of names. As I have already mentioned, the under Article 2(3) empowers the government to change the name of the states, but in order to do that, they have to go prior recommendation of the president, and also they should let the states know that they are going to change the name of that particular state. So this is all about how the states got their individuality after Andhra Pradesh, how Andhra Pradesh has become the first state to be separated on linguistic basis. So that's all for today. We have covered diamond and statutory in uh, 3 parts. So we are going to do more such topics from Indian polity. If you found this video worth watching, do like, share, and subscribe, which will motivate me to go further and bring such more updates. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.